Hi, I'm Mary Sandholm, and welcome back to my kitchen in Chester, New Hampshire. And it's about 2 in the morning, so it's time to be cooking in this nocturnal neck of the woods. And today I'm making a vegetable soup, similar to a minestrone, but we vary off the path a little bit. And right now, to get us started, I have a red onion in a pan that's simmering over medium-low heat, as well as a pot of water that's boiling or getting ready to boil or steaming everywhere. So to this boiling pot of water in the back here, I'm putting in 2 cups of vegetable stock. I'm also going to put in about 4 ounces of Philadelphia cream cheese. And we're going to kind of get everything to combine over medium-high heat for the time being. While that's cooking up, I have some potatoes here I have to chop up. Just some yellow potatoes. And we're dicing them into pretty small sections just so that nobody gets too big of a chunk of potato when they dig into the soup. Alright, my potatoes are all chopped, and we have a variation of sizes, about 1 inch long, half an inch long, anywhere within that range. My onions are starting to caramelize just a little bit, so I want to put some seasoning in here before I lose a chance to season these too much. And this is going to include some fresh cracked pepper, as well as some sea salt, and I'm going to chop up some basil to go into that mix. Right. Into the party. And we're going to keep stirring this and keeping an eye on that back pot and making sure everything's going to come together. Okay, our potatoes are all chopped, and it looks like our water is all combined. So we have our stock and water and cream cheese in here. And to that, I'm going to add my potatoes. And like I said, I have 2 yellow potatoes just diced. And I'm just going to kerplunk right on in. Right. And we're going to let those go for a few minutes, just so our potatoes can get nice and soft and really yummy to eat. While that's working on that for 5 minutes, because I lose track of time, we're going to start to deglaze our onions a little bit. They're all a bit caramelized, and we just want to get all that nice flavor off the bottom of the pan. So we're using some of our veggie sauce for this. Right. I'm just going to kind of scrape the bottom up and get all that nice, yummy flavor off the bottom of the pan. Because we want it, we don't care what the pan. Alright. So that's all deglazed. And these are going to set aside, turn the heat off, and these are going to set aside to kind of stay cool, but don't let them get too cold. And then we're going to add them into our soup when 5 minutes is up for our potatoes back there. In the meanwhile, I'm going to work on cutting off some celery that I washed. And we're going to cut off any bad parts, as well as the really wide white part at the bottom. I'm just going to cut these into, 1/4 inch pieces. Nothing too big. Like I said, it's soup. You don't want anybody to choke on it. Alright, so I'm going to finish chopping these up in 5 minutes. I'll fly by before you know it. Alright, so it's been 5 minutes, and like I told you, it's coming on in the blink of an eye. Our potatoes are getting a little bit tender. Our water's simmering. So we're going to start adding in some more components. I have small shell noodles, just small enough to get a bite without being too big or so small you don't notice them. Those are going to go in, as well as that celery I was talking about. And that's 4 sticks fresh chopped celery. And that's going to go in. Already smells so good. Alright, next I have some canned vegetables and beans and starches and a whole bunch of good stuff. They're all 16 ounces, garbanzo beans, joining the party. Kidney beans, going into the pool. Some French cut green beans, also, again, joining the pool. Some corn, but just half this can's going to go in. And carrots. And I love sliced carrots. Great. So we're going to mix this around and get everything nice and wet. And it's going to seem kind of thick at first. You may want to add some more water depending on your pot, but give it a little bit to simmer and get some more liquid out of these veggies. And I will be back again in about 5-10 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes has gone by again in a blink of an eye. And I'm just adding in my onions to our back pot, and we are also going to season now. So just gives everything an extra boost of flavor. Put it away. And here I've got some chopped basil and chives. Those are going in, and I love basil. I end up doing about 5-6 leaves of basil, and then just 2 or 3 pieces of chives, stems rather. And then I have 4 ounces of mushrooms that are going to join in. Alright, to finish up our seasoning, fresh ground pepper, and a couple cranks. It's a decent sized pot, we need a lot of pepper. And we also need our sea salt again. Alright. So we are all seasoned. And we are going to let this simmer for about 20-25 minutes. Alright, it's been about 20 minutes here in TV land. So excited to begin. Everything's nice and soft. So I'm going to turn my heat off, all the way off. Put myself a bowl, and make sure you get a nice heaping spoonful of chunky goodies. And a good spoonful of our liquid. Take that 2. And while this was cooking, I came back about 10 minutes in, put in another 4 ounces of cream cheese, and put in about half a cup of milk, as well as some garlic, and that's just my personal flavors, what I really like in my soups. And does that not look delicious? Kind of hard to see in the white bowl. I'm going to take a sprig of basil just to kind of add a little color, and I have some lightly toasted French bread. How yummy is that? I'll get a spoon and try this. A human-sized spoon, that is. Not a monster one. Mushroom, my favorite. So creamy, it's so good. You can taste the cream cheese in the sauce so nicely, and with all those vegetables, it just kind of makes it nice and creamy. Another way you could go about making this, if you had a stick blender, you could stick it right in there and kind of mash everything up a little bit, make your sauce a little bit thicker, get rid of some of your chunks. I just want to try some beans too. That's a happy dance, sorry. So good. I'm not sharing this with anybody. This is my lunch for the rest of the week. Alright. I hope you enjoyed making this dish as much as I did, and I hope you enjoy eating it even more. And as always, best wishes to your dishes.